Coming up on AgweekTV, we're at Farm Progress in Boone, Iowa, covering all things agriculture. Our corn and soybean tour continues this week with stops in North and South Dakota. A Wisconsin restaurant serves up farm fresh food, and we'll meet this year's Minnesota State Fair's Princess K of the Milky Way. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. This week we're coming to you from Farm Progress in Boone, Iowa. Farm Progress is the largest outdoor farm event in the country with over 600 exhibitors from around the globe. Farm Progress showcases the latest in agriculture, from cutting-edge technology to field demonstrations and much more. Ag equipment is front and center here at Farm Progress. I visited with Case IH to learn more about the new technology and equipment they're offering farmers.
Yeah, Case IH, harvesting excellence has been really part of our DNA for a better part of 45 years.
Case IH has a rich history in ag machinery, but the company is adding a new chapter by unveiling a new product.
Behind me is the new AF10 combine. It's part of our expansion for our lineup that really has three key things for customers: added capacity and productivity, technology which helps them enhance that productivity, as well as data management, and also that uptime and being able to stay in the field longer.
But combines are not the only new addition Case IH is showing off here at Farm Progress.
We're really excited to have a public unveiling of Case IH Field Apps. Field Apps is our new connectivity and farm management platform. So being able to integrate all of your Case IH equipment into one place and be able to access that from your phone, from your computer, and take that operation management to the next step was really the target behind the Field Apps launch.
When speaking to farmers, Case IH new producers wanted to be able to access their equipment information wherever they were.
Being able to deliver that mobile access was something that our customers asked us for, so we wanted to make sure that was a priority.
Case IH also unveiled their Active Implement Guidance platform, which will help farmers reach a higher level of accuracy on their operations, as well as help reduce overlap, ensure precise field coverage, relieve operator stress, and improve yields.
So when you add an Active Implement Guidance system to your implement setup, you can actually use the exact same guidance line. So that way your planter, your implement is tracking directly behind, and that makes it more repeatable for you to go back and follow up with subsequent applications.
Besides unveiling new technology, there are other exciting expansions happening at Farm Progress. A nonprofit rooted in agriculture is broadening their horizons. Ariana Schumacher has more.
Thanks, Emily. Since 2006, Farm Rescue has helped over 1,000 farm families in need. This year, they expanded their services into Wisconsin.
Our goal is to help as many families as possible every year with the machinery that's suited for it, like we have. So any place where row crop agriculture, cattle feeding, and hay baling are happening, we think we could help someday. Usually we go into a state that we already border. So we were already in Minnesota and Illinois, so we thought Wisconsin was a good next step.
Farm Rescue helps people with injuries, health concerns, or natural disasters continue to operate their farms through the crisis in their 9-state region.
So your smaller family farms, a lot of times the owner is the operator as well. And so they may be the only one running the planter or the combine during the season. And if they all of a sudden have an injury where they can't run that machine, how's their crop going to get planted or harvested?
This organization brings in professionals who will also work with the local community to make sure all of the farm work gets done properly.
They don't have to worry about managing any of that. They just know it's going to get done well and get done on time and keep their farm going through that crisis.
Every year, the group helps anywhere from 60 to 100 families.
We know there's a lot of families that need help every year that we never learn about, so we would love to help more, and that starts with people referring them to us when they hear somebody suffer something in the community.
Right now, Farm Rescue's primary need are family referrals and financial donations. They don't plan to extend to any more states in the next year or two.
Our future goal is to have enough resources to be able to help families wherever our machinery and our expertise are a good fit.
In Boone, Iowa, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
Farm Rescue is giving a Farm Mall 450 tractor, which they are auctioning off on September 4th, with all the proceeds going to the organization. You can find the tractor listed on bigiron.com. A popular new Italian restaurant in Wisconsin serves up entirely local meats and produce. It's this week's AgWeek cover story. Mitchell Weber, the chef and owner of Sagra in La Crosse, visits local farms and buys his produce and meat. Even his pasta is made with locally sourced flour. We tagged along as he picked out this week's worth of vegetables at the Harmony Valley Farms in Vacoa, Wisconsin. Although Weber grew up in La Crosse, he says he wasn't aware of how many small and organic farms were in the region. The Sagra menu changes with what's in season and available to him. Weber says buying and serving local ingredients is more than about serving fresh and healthy food.
The dollar is spent here, and then we turn it over to somebody that's down the road, and then they turn it over to somebody that's down the road. And the hope is that eventually it comes back.
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com.
Coming up on the AgWeek Corn and Soybean Tour, we'll learn what cool, wet conditions have meant for soybeans in central North Dakota.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
So I'm going to put it out under it first, and then I'm just going to keep moving it. Keep doing small squirts. Quick squirt, and it's
done. My name is Carson, and I'm a fourth-generation corn farmer. The corn that's grown in North Dakota, you could probably trace all over the world. Back growing up, it was always hauled to the local elevator, and now we haul directly to an ethanol plant who processes that corn into a clean burning fuel. The North Dakota ethanol industry uses over 150 million bushels of corn and returns $640 million to the state economy.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
Thank you to our sponsors: North Dakota Corn Council, North Dakota Corn Growers Association, North Dakota Soybean Council, Bremer Bank, Agri Valley Solutions, Crary Ag, and Dakota Plains Realty.
Our AgWeek corn and soybean tour kicks off this week in northeast South Dakota, where Kennedy Tesh found the corn crop is in fairly good condition, although they could use some warmer weather.
Kurt Turner is a co-owner of Ag Genesis, a crop consulting business based in Brookings. He says while some corn growers in his corner of the state started planting in mid-April, heavy rains early in the season dealt them some setbacks. But still, Turner says most of the crop is looking good.
So the early corn had a little struggle getting out of the ground, some lighter stands, but the later corn had great stands. It's a good crop right now.
With cooler than average temperatures this growing season, Turner says the corn crop is about 10 days behind going into September and could use some heat. He says his clients aren't seeing much disease.
Seems like most fields I go into, we can see a little bit of northern corn leaf blight, a little bit of rust, nothing that's probably major.
Turner also says he's not seeing a lot of weed pressure among his growers this year.
Of course, water hemp's the big weed that we deal with. we're able to control it pretty well in the corn.
Turner says growers are seeing some pests, so he recommends root protection.
This year, anything that hasn't been root treated is a lot of it's having some problems with rootworm.
Turner says they've had plenty of rain, but now need some warm weather to bring in a good corn crop.
So a lot of this corn is just starting to dent, and I foresee that we're going to need a warm September to get things finished off.
Near Brookings, South Dakota, this is Kennedy Tesh for AgWeek.
Turner says he thinks the average corn yield in his area will be about 200 bushels. Our tour now takes us to central North Dakota, where Jenny Schleck took a look at the soybean crop.
Thanks, Emily. We're here with Greg Andrews. He's an extension agronomist at the Carrington Research Extension Center. And Greg, what are we seeing in soybeans this year with such a cool, wet season that we've had?
Well, the wet part is very positive because, as most people know, we need moisture when the crop is in the reproductive stage. So late July, having good soil moisture, and definitely into August, that really keeps that yield potential up there. Here at Carrington, from April 1 until the current time, we've had about 17.5 inches. And so that's a bit above the average, but in particular would be that period from mid-July through August where we really want to minimize stress as the plant is producing seed, and that is happening. So yield potential is very conservatively is above average, and it looks very, very good actually.
Now, the crop report that came out this week said that soybeans are pretty behind on setting pods compared to average and last year. Are you concerned at all if we were to have an early frost, what that would mean for the yield potential?
Yes, most definitely. In general, we are behind on our plant development. Most of our soybean in the region are in anywhere from the R5 stage, which means that a person looks at the upper 4 nodes of the plant, and then within those nodes find beans, and then looking at the pod or seed development, that'll tell us what stage. And so in this particular plant, we have seed that's developing. And so it's definitely in the R5 stage, actually getting very close to R6 stage. So at R5, at the very start of R5, when the seed is just beginning to be formed, it's on average, it'll be around 40 days from this stage until maturity. But our beans, if they're at R6 stage, then it's less time. And long-term average for us, for a killing frost, is about October 1. And so in most instances, we should be good. The exception would be if people are planting their soybeans into June and planting a later maturing variety. And then if the frost comes earlier, of course.
What would be the ideal conditions to see to really get this crop where it needs to be to finish out the year?
Well, with the 10-day forecast, it looks quite positive. And we have not high temperatures, little cooler nights, and we're okay. I think if that continues, I think most people would enjoy having dry weather for extended time now to finish up our small grain harvest and move into dry bean harvest and some specialty oil seeds, maybe flax and canola, and then move into dry bean and soybean. So there's always variability, but in general, I think most guys are happy with their soil moisture, and we need some good weather for our harvest.
Thank you. In Carrington, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht with AgWeek.
Ahead on AgweekTV, a South Dakota company could help with the fight against animal diseases.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Bremer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation, so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
The National Agricultural Genotyping Center is conducting a statewide sampling survey for herbicide resistance in Palmer amaranth, water hemp, and kochia. The goal of this survey is to determine where and what herbicide-resistant traits are found in North Dakota. Collection kits consist of 4 envelopes, 3 envelopes for Palmer amaranth and water hemp from pigweed, and 1 envelope for a suspected herbicide-resistant kochia plant. For more information about the survey and where to pick up your collection kit, please contact your local North Dakota County Extension agent.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk. AgWeek weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
How will the weather fare over Labor Day weekend? Here's our AgriWeather outlook.
I wouldn't be quite ready to put a fork into summer yet, although this 2-week outlook is entirely contained within the month of September. The first half of September is looking fairly warm across the northern plains, definitely some above average days temperature-wise. The rainstorms are mostly going to be moving into other parts of the country. It looks fairly dry, northern plains, upper Midwest, southern Canada. And in an interesting development, what was expected to be a very active hurricane season, now during the first half of the month of September, there may not be any tropical storms to speak of at all in the Atlantic Basin, so keep an eye on that. Jet stream this week pretty far north, allowing some warm to hot temperatures to spread northward into the northern plains. Some of this will be 90s, some of it near 90s, some of it upper 80s, and some of the orange stuff will be anywhere from the upper 70s to the middle 80s, warmer than average for September weather over most of the central United States, over most of the western United States. Interestingly enough, most of the eastern seaboard and the southeastern states, although the temperatures will be warm, 80s, even a few 90s, it'll be cooler than average across this area, while the heat is concentrated out of the Rockies and the western states where, frankly, there just hadn't been anything to cool down what's been a searingly hot summer. But ridging in the jet stream will allow this warm and hot weather, 70s, 80s, and 90s, to spread across southern Canada, the northern plains, and very likely stick around this week. The only cool weather will be associated with this troughing in the eastern Maritimes. Their temperatures will be cooler than average. And the far north is starting to see some seasonally cool weather, just not seeing that first real push of September weather. For the second week, still looks warmer than average. I'm not suggesting it's going to be in the 90s every day throughout this area, but I think a lot of 80s and 90s south of the border anyway. The cool weather will begin to drop southward, but I don't see any freezing weather anywhere the first 2 weeks of September, except way up around Hudson Bay. Precipitation-wise, the showers and storms are mostly going to be concentrated from Texas across to the southeastern states. Looks fairly dry from the northern plains through the Great Lakes into southern Canada up to the James Bay, Hudson Bay area. And the Pacific Northwest will be quite rainy, mostly from coastal Washington up into southern Alaska. These areas that I've marked as nothing, I'm not saying there won't be any rain, I just don't see anything out of the ordinary. The typical late summer, early fall, scattered showers and thunderstorms. And for the next 2 weeks, the pattern is not moving much. The Great Lakes, northern plains, for the start of September, looks mostly dry.
Storage Pros and MnDAC Containers are your premier suppliers of shipping containers, servicing all of North Dakota and Minnesota. From 10 to 53 feet, new and used units, we have your storage solution. Pick up your unit or have it delivered. Call Mike or Jake today.
Introducing the all-new Vatterstadt Tempo K24, designed and built in the U.S. It combines capacity with superior precision, even at very high speeds. With PowerShoot technology that uses positive air pressure to take full control of the seed from the meter all the way down to the soil, using no belts, motors, or brushes. Start your journey to outstanding emergence. Pre-order your Tempo K today.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Our Peterson Farm seed reps, real-life seed heroes, well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Farm seed reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson Farm Seed, we're that kind of seed company.
Storage Pros and MnDAC Containers are your premier suppliers of shipping containers, servicing all of North Dakota and Minnesota. From 10 to 53 feet, new and used units, we have your storage solution. Pick up your unit or have it delivered. Call Mike or Jake today.
Animal viruses are generating a lot of concern and can cost producers a lot of money. But a South Dakota animal health company says they're ready to tackle major disease challenges, including the H5N1 virus. Kennedy Tesh has more.
Avian influenza virus can devastate poultry flocks. It's just one of the animal diseases a South Dakota company is working to fight. Medgene is an innovative and fast-growing animal health company based in Brookings. It's using leading technology to manufacture and distribute animal vaccines around the world that address critical challenges for livestock producers. Medgene founder Alan Young helped develop the groundbreaking prescription vaccine technology. It allows them to make vaccines much faster than traditional methods that house the disease agents in a lab.
We are ready to address emerging diseases, we're ready to address new variants of existing diseases, and we're ready to address very targeted approaches to animal health in the United States, particularly in cattle and swine.
When H5N1 began to infect mammals a few years ago, Medgene began working on a vaccine for it using the genetic sequence. Now, the company is waiting for USDA approval to use the vaccine if it's needed. Young says the company is also expanding into new vaccines for poultry and companion animals.
So I really think that this technology has the potential to provide some important tools in the toolbox for practicing veterinarians.
In Brookings, this is Kennedy Tesh for AgWeek.
The company is also waiting on USDA approval for vaccines they have developed to target PCV4 in swine and AMPV in turkey production. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll meet the newest dairy royalty at the Minnesota State Fair.
We started with a raw piece of ground out here, and we put in bins, and then we started coming in with the leg and dryer system and threw in a pit. The process with working with them has been very simple. It was a one-stop shop. Go there. We came up with a plan together, and they have been executing it flawlessly. Hi, I'm Brian Hoffman, and I highly recommend using Advanced Grain out of Mayville, North Dakota.
Do you have salty fields? Try calcine.
We've been putting it on some of our worst spots, and every year you see more bushels, greener crop, healthier crop. Some land down by the river that almost had to take out of production. We've been able to use calcine and bring it back to equal to the rest of the fields. Calcine mixes with basically anything. We put it down with our starter fertilizer. We've mixed it with herbicides. We've applied it broadcast. We've applied it banded. So it's worked in pretty much any capacity, and there's no volatility issues. So it's a very easy to use product.
Let's talk. Visit us at EricksonCustomOperations.com.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Introducing the all-new Vaterstad Tempo K24, designed and built in the U.S. It combines capacity with superior precision, even at very high speeds. With PowerShoot technology that uses positive air pressure to take full control of the seed from the meter all the way down to the soil, using no belts, motors, or brushes. Start your journey to outstanding emergence. Pre-order your Tempo K today.
Minnesota State Fair's Princess K of the Milky Way is excited to share her enthusiasm for dairy. Rachel Visor was crowned the 71st Princess K at the State Fair and is spending the 12-day run promoting the dairy industry. Then she'll spend the year doing the same thing around the state. Visor will spend the year as a Goodwill ambassador for the state's 1,800 dairy farm families. The Hutchinson native didn't grow up on a dairy farm, but she grew up to love it at a young age, and she is very happy to promote the business.
I showed my first Jersey calf 11 years ago, and I fell in love with the hardworking dairy farmers, and I wanted to learn everything about what they did to produce healthy dairy products. So I'm super excited to share the dairy story, not only my story, but from farmers across the state of Minnesota.
She is a sophomore at the University of Minnesota, studying ag food business and management and ag communications, and in the summer, she works on a dairy farm. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV this week from Farm Progress in Boone, Iowa. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.